Keanu started the car and pulled out of the lot, the neon lights of the city flickering to life as dusk deepened into night. His stomach growled, reminding him that he hadn't eaten since midday. Deciding to grab a quick bite, he turned onto a quiet street and spotted a McDonald's glowing in the distance. It wasn't crowded, just a few late-night diners and an elderly man sipping coffee in the corner. As he placed his order at the counter, his gaze drifted across the restaurant. That's when he noticed them, the twin girls in matching yellow dresses. They moved from table to table, their small hands outstretched in silent plea. Something about them sent a chill through him. At first, he assumed they were just lost children, or perhaps part of some unfortunate situation. But when they finally approached his booth, their large, glassy eyes staring up at him, he realized something was terribly wrong. "Help us," one of them whispered, her voice barely audible. Keanu leaned forward, his heartbeat quickening. "Where are your parents?" he asked gently. The other girl shook her head, her lower lip trembling. "He's coming." A cold shiver ran down Keanu's spine. He glanced around the restaurant, suddenly hyper-aware of his surroundings. Who was coming? And why did they seem so terrified? Before he could press for more answers, the restaurant's front door swung open. A man stepped inside, a tall figure dressed in a dark coat, his face shadowed by the dim lighting. His movements were precise, deliberate. He scanned the room, and when his eyes landed on the twins, a sinister smile curled on his lips. The girls tensed, clutching onto Keanu's sleeve. "Stay here," he whispered to them before rising to his feet. The man took a step forward, his cold gaze locking onto Keanu's. "Those girls belong to me," he said smoothly, his voice like oil over ice. Keanu didn't flinch. "They don't look like they want to go with you." The man chuckled, but there was no humor in it. "You don't understand what you're getting yourself into, Mr. Reeves." The mention of his name sent alarm bells ringing in Keanu's head. Who was this guy? How did he know him? "Walk away," the man warned, his tone dripping with threat. Keanu squared his shoulders. "Not happening." The man exhaled sharply, as if disappointed. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he pulled something from his pocket, a small silver object that gleamed under the fluorescent lights. Keanu recognized it instantly. A syringe. Instinct took over. Without hesitation, he grabbed the nearest tray from the table and hurled it at the man's hand. The syringe clattered to the floor. Chaos erupted. Patrons gasped, chairs scraped, and the twins shrieked. The man lunged, but Keanu was faster. Years of stunt training kicked in. He sidestepped, grabbing the man's wrist and twisting it, forcing him onto the ground. The restaurant manager shouted for someone to call the police. Breathing hard, Keanu kept his grip firm. "Who are you?" he demanded. The man only smirked. "You have no idea what you just interfered with." Before Keanu could respond, the sound of sirens filled the air. Red and blue lights flashed through the windows. The twins clung to him as the police stormed in, quickly taking the man into custody. One of the officers turned to Keanu. "Are you all right?" He glanced down at the girls, who still looked shaken but safe. "I am," he said, then looked at them. "But they need help." The officer nodded, kneeling beside the twins. "We'll make sure they're taken care of." As Keanu finally exhaled, feeling the adrenaline fade, he knew this night would stay with him forever. He had walked into a simple fast food restaurant for a meal and left as the guardian of two innocent souls who had been trapped in something far darker than he could have imagined. And as he watched the police drive away with the man in the back seat, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was far from over.